Who will be the Carolina Panthers starting quarterback in the following week to face the Denver Broncos? And Steve Wilks calling out star players for not being stars? We got a couple things to talk about in this episode of Panthers News today. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. What up, dude? My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. I do recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers. So if you want to stay up to date on different videos like this with news, post-game reactions, and film breakdowns every week on the squad, along with draft content that will be coming soon because it's almost time for the Panthers to start looking forward to the offseason and next season. So if you want to see all that type of stuff, make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell icon. That way you get a notification for all videos that I drop, and you won't miss a thing. All right, and give this video a thumbs up because it really helps me out in the algorithm, and it only takes you a few seconds. All right. So after yesterday's 13-3 loss to the Baltimore Ravens, that saw an offensive production that left a lot to be desired with less than 250 yards total offense again, less than 60 plays once again, less than 50 yards rushing. The question still remains, who will be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers in the following week, as Baker Mayfield was the starter this week in replacement for P.J. Walker, who is still nursing a high ankle sprain. Coach Steve Wilks was asked in his Monday day after game presser who that would be, and for the first time in a few weeks, he did not have an answer. Now, he did actually leave a little bit of nuggets because he's not really shy or hesitant to be forthcoming with information. He pretty much said that he wants to look at the film, look at the game plan, and wait till Wednesday to see on the status of P.J. Walker. In my opinion, like I said on my live stream reaction, if P.J. Walker is available, he is definitely the starter. If he's not, they seem to leave a door open for Sam Darnold. These were the comments that Steve Wilks had when asked if he would be hesitant to put Sam Darnold in there.
If you were ready to put him out there, is he ready to be out there given his practice time, given that he's not played all this season? Would you feel comfortable putting him out there this week?
I think last week I mentioned the mere fact that I was looking to try to get him in the game at certain opportunities. So, yes, I feel more than comfortable putting him out there.
As you can see, he's not scared. You know, Sam has not played much at all since preseason, and Steve Wilks has been on record saying he doesn't really count preseason. So he would hate to put Sam in there when he's not ready. But the fact that he left the door open in previous weeks, he's sticking by his word, saying that if that may be the case, they want to get Sam on the field, and he would not be hesitant to put him in there. My personal opinion, I will not be personally requesting Sam Darnold as bad as Baker Mayfield is. Obviously, if P.J. Walker can't go, I honestly don't care. The result is going to be the same, in my opinion. It's a zero-sum game at this point for the Carolina Panthers. However, I really will never be in a position to ask for Sam Darnold. I got plenty of Sam Darnold last year. I don't want to hear anything about the first 3 games of last season with Christian McCaffrey because, one, Christian McCaffrey is not here, and 2, we can't really let 3 games offset the previous 4 years that Sam Darnold showed us that he isn't the guy. I personally, like I said, I'll never ask for it, but I can understand why Sam Darnold will still be in consideration because none of the quarterbacks on his roster have done anything to keep Sam Darnold at bay. So the potential of seeing Sam Darnold soon and very soon seems to be very high. We will pay attention to the Wednesday injury report about P.J. Walker to see if he will be available this week. If not, I think that Sam Darnold could honestly be the guy, or we could get Baker Mayfield on a very short leash. Now, putting Sam Darnold in his first start of the year and first action of the year against the #1 defense in the NFL in the Denver Broncos seems like a recipe for disaster. However, putting anybody not named P.J. Walker at this point seems like a recipe for disaster anyway. So what do you have to lose? You guys let me know down below in the comments, how do you feel about who should be the starting quarterback for this game coming up? If P.J. is healthy, let me know who do you think should be the starter. If P.J. is not healthy, who do you think should be the starter? Let me know down below in the comments and why. Let's have a discussion. The next thing I want to point out about Steve Wilks' press conference is the fact that he has some very, very blunt comments about how he addressed players. A lot of people question how he would approach C.J. Henderson and Sean Smith. He had a little bit different words for those guys. He pretty much said straight up that I would not say anything in the media that I wouldn't say to their face or I haven't already said to their face. He was very candid about C.J. Henderson being way better of a player than he is. Steve Wilks being the former secondary coach and his specialty being in the secondary, I know that he probably has a certain soft spot for C.J. and he wants the best out of it. He's probably seen the talent and the ability that C.J. has shown coming out that he really hasn't been able to put together. C.J. Henderson seems to be getting giving too much cushion to wide receivers and giving up too much underneath stuff. We saw him struggle with getting ran by earlier in the year, and maybe he just has PTSD there and he's scared to get beat deep and it's not translating. However, when asked about Shi Smith, he said that he let Shi Smith know that stuff, play like that, can't happen ever, but let alone in a crucial position like that when the team still has a chance to go down and win the game, because that ended up being the turning point of the game, and that's what kind of put this game out of reach for Carolina as the Baltimore Ravens extended their lead after that turnover by Shi Smith. So I respect Steve Wilks for being very direct, but he also has some words about DJ Moore. He said DJ Moore has to catch the opportunities that he has, because he was questioned about why DJ Moore's target share is so much lower when Baker Mayfield's in there. And Steve Wilks pretty much said that there's a lot of blame to go around, but DJ is definitely not blameless. DJ has to catch the ball, and he's not wrong. Now, I don't know how this will go over compared to how when a guy like Matt Rule calls out players. Nevertheless, Steve Wilks was pretty direct. He says DJ has to catch the ball. Now, it's going to be difficult because DJ's getting double teamed and that our quarterback isn't always giving him the best opportunities, nor are they scheming up opportunities for DJ. But when opportunities do come, DJ Moore must catch the ball. He also has some comments about some of the star players on this Panthers team. Let's listen to it.
You know, one of the messages that I talked about this morning in the team meeting, our star players got to play like stars. All right, they need to step up. All right, so across the board on both sides of the ball, all right, they need to play. And then if you're a first or second round draft pick, you're that for a reason. If we brought you in as a free agent, you're a star player. Go play.
Did you guys hear that? That was some very strong words, saying that the stars, quote unquote, stars need to be stars. Like, if you're a star, you need to be a star. If he's talking about offensively in particular, I can think of two names specifically that are stars, or at least paid like stars, that need to step up. All you got to do is go to Spot Track or Over the Cap and check and see who's the highest paid players on his offense, and that will tell you exactly who Steve Wilks is likely talking about. He mentioned also that if you're a first-round pick or a second-round pick, you need to start performing like that. Who could it be talking to? We don't have too many of those guys outside of Icky. And, of course, DJ Moore. Taylor Moton is a guy that's getting paid like a star. Also, we have Terrace Marshall Jr., who has been stepping up and can possibly do a little bit more and make some plays. But Steve Wilks isn't holding any words and isn't pulling any punches. If he's talking about defensively, you know who those guys are. We're talking Jeremy Chin. We're talking Brian Burns. We're talking Derek Brown. We're talking J.C. Horn, who's had his tackling struggles as well. These guys need to step up and make some plays for this team. If you're a star, show it. Yes, it is about the X's and O's, and I think a lot of people got too caught up in Matt Rule being the guy that he was. Not that he helped our chances, but it's not always about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes, the guys that are in the pads that are out there. Sometimes guys have to make plays, and our guys that we are counting on, that we typically count on, aren't always making those plays. So it's not always about the coaches. Sometimes it's about the players executing, and sometimes doing more than just executing the play that's drawn up. They have to be able to make plays. You know what I'm saying? Big-time players make big-time plays. There are plenty of plays to be made in the game. Guys just have to go out there and make those plays. Shout out to Steve Wilks for being stern and calling these guys out and treating them like a man. He said he looks them in the eyes exactly like he's talking to the media and tells them the same thing that he's telling the media, that these guys need to step up and make things happen. And that may be the type ship that you guys need. People respect that. I know me personally, I played for a hard coach that would cuss you out, that would probably slap you in the head a little bit, but at the same time, he would build you up also. And you knew that he would keep it straight up with you. And me as a player, I responded to that type of stuff. Now, unless these guys are too used to being coddled or whatever by Matt Rule, that type of treatment is something that everybody really can't handle, but I think is probably the best way to coach certain guys, and I respect Steve Wilks for that. You guys let me know how you feel about Steve Wilks calling out some of the star players on the team, because I know we have our fan favorites, and when Matt Rule used to call out certain guys, he used to always go over well. But let me know how you feel about Steve Wilks calling out those players down below in the comments. And last but not least, I want to talk about some of the young guys on this team getting involved finally. So Steve Wilks was asked where this is the point of the year where they started just playing young guys to see what they have and what he thought about some of the guys getting involved. And his comments are pretty much, we weren't playing young guys yesterday because we just want to get a good look and look forward to next year, because he's not in a position to be able to look forward to next year because he's only an interim coach. Next year isn't promised for anybody on this team if there's a new coaching staff that comes in. He said they did it out of necessity. Obviously, with Corey Littleton going down, Brandon Smith was able to play 35% of the snaps, and he was able to make 3 tackles. We did see Amari Barno being inserted as a gunner on the punt team, which looked a little bit weird because he's huge, but at the same time, we know he ran that 4.38 at the combine, and with Sam Franklin being needed on defense, he wasn't going to be able to be relied upon as the gunner that he normally does from a full-time perspective. So seeing Barno be able to get in there and also make a tackle for loss on the screenplay, it was good to see those guys get involved. But even offensively, we saw a little bit of change up from Ben McAdoo on the early short yardage. We saw Kay Mays get in at fullback and move some bodies around. So I'm really happy to see some of these young guys getting involved and actually getting a chance to see the field. We know Ike Ekwonu has been a day one starter. Has pretty much played every snap for this team offensively. So not really much change there. But I am finally glad to see young guys and give a good look at some athletes. Now, these guys are athletes, and Steve Wilks wants to see those guys kind of take a breath and let go, make plays. Use the athleticism that you were drafted for to make plays. Barno runs a 4.36, get after it and make plays. Brandon Smith runs a 4.5 at 250 pounds, make plays. Quit being lost out there and thinking so much and just get out there and play. The more playing time they get, you hope the game slows down and they do loosen up and make more plays. But I'm just happy we are starting to take those steps and letting these guys get a chance to get their feet wet this late in the season. Now, how the things will change and mentality changes after another loss or two about putting young guys in, we shall see, because Scott Fitter obviously is going to have a say-so in that as well, because he is the general manager for now. So he's going to have a little bit of say-so, even though Steve Wilks is the coach and is going to get called all the shots. He is only interim coach, so if guys above his pay grade make that call, he has to kind of oblige, but at the same time, fit them into his game plan. So you guys let me know in the comments, how excited are you about seeing some of these guys finally getting to play and seeing a guy like Barno make a play or two out there along with Brandon Smith? Let me know how you feel. And do you think we should start putting more young guys involved in this game, like Cade Mays or something like that on the offensive line? Let me know how you feel down below. But any of these topics that we discussed, let's chop it up down below in these comments. Let me know if I missed anything important news-wise that you want to talk about, and we could chop it up in the comments. Like I said, let's break bread and have a time. Keep pounding, guys. Without further ado, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.